Hi, my name is Terry Muller. I'm from Muller's Paint and Paper in the village of Caledonia, and I'm pleased to be here today bringing you a Terry's tip. Sounds a little corny still to me. We were encouraged to do this in newsprint, so for the last few years I had a very dependable newspaper salesman come by and said, "Hey Terry, take some of these ideas that you have, that you do every day at your store, and let's put it in newsprint form." So that's Terry's tips. And then more recently I was encouraged by Caledonia Cable here in Caledonia to go to the small screen. So I'm just real pleased to bring a series of Terry's tips now televised, and gives me a nice opportunity to go into a little bit more detail, have some demonstration boards. We've had a series of classes behind me. We've had one on paint classes, faux finishes. We've had a variety of topics that we've discussed here at the store, newsprint. Now, from the comfort of your home, from the comfort of your laptop, wherever you might be, download it, caledoniacable.org, and see what we have to say. Helpful money-saving tips, Terry's tips. Today, the inside skinny about tapes. Well, there is a lot about tapes. They can make a job go really good. They can make a job go really miserable and be very, very costly. I'll try not to, and I'm not terribly specific on, I'll mention a few brand names, 3M, Frog Tape by the Sure Tape Company, but no criticism of tapes. We sell a lot of them at our store. We sell probably, well, you can see a good handful of an assortment, so we've got the right tape for the right job. But when the customer walks up to the paint end cap, boy, I'm overwhelmed. My wife told me to get some, or my husband said, just go to the store, honey, get some 1-inch tape. Well, boy, you didn't say tan, blue, green, purple. What do I do, hon? What do I get here? I don't know. Well, ask Terry, he'll tell you. But we want the tape to do the job. Everyone recognizes, or most everybody that's been in the painting business or home remodeling, the blue tapes. Well, Terry's got 4 or 5 rows of blue tapes. And you see them here on our display. Regular 3M blue. Now it could be that it's a purple tape by Sure Stick. It could be, a lot of these companies have great tapes. They're all very, very good, but they're specifically geared and put mastic on for a specific job that they're asked to do. The blue tape that everybody recognizes is a 7-day tape designed to put in on glass. The painters would do new construction, leave it right out on sunlight, and a week later you can take it off and not leave mastic behind. But regular blue tape is much too aggressive of adhesive. Let's say we've just painted the wall. We're really not that good at brushing in the corner. We're changing colors. We want to put a line of tape to give us a little more forgiveness with our paintbrush, and we're going to get we're going to transition from an off-white, nice historical color to another dark historical color, and we need a good crisp edge. Or we might do a demonstration where we actually, or a room where we want stripes on this demo board, where we've put a kind of a Laura Ashley type wallpaper stripe, but we've done it with paint and varnish. We've taken one color of paint, and rather than getting a second color in the luster, we've actually used just a clear varnish. But to do that, to get clean lines, I need a good tape that'll give me a good clean edge. I've gone to the store, I'm a little overwhelmed at the assortment, and I grab the blue and I get home. Well, I just did this nice historical off-white yesterday. I might have done it, over the weekend, and now I'm ready to do my next color, and I bought the regular blue tape that is, I know because I saw my uncle, he's a painter, he uses blue, so I got that blue and I taped it and I pulled it off and it took my fresh paint. Well, and my edge wasn't the best. If you can see, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but this 1, 2, 3, the 4th one in is a very, very popular name brand painter's tape, whether it's green, whether it's, as this one is, this is one of the sensitive release greens, whether it's blue, purple, one of the other competitors. Too sticky, not going to give you real clean lines, and it's going to pull off the paint that I just did, the fresh paint. So the only time this regular blue is really safe would be on cured paint. What do I mean by cured paint? Well, I did it yesterday. It's dry. It was dry an hour later. It was a new style water-based paints, even the new technology coatings that dry a little bit slower to give you a nice flow. They still dry fast. You can repaint them in 4 hours. But still not ready. That curing time is much different than a drying time. Cure time on the quickest of waterborne coatings today is about 7 to 10 days on a light color, and on a dark color it's about 3 to 4 weeks before that dark historical color that you've chosen to paint that nice cool looking den with is ready to really be used. Oftentimes people will do a shower stall, a bathroom, and they've done a nice deep color and they shower the next day. Well, that paint takes about 3 weeks to cure, and the paint won't withstand that moisture, and you can have delamination, you can have problems. So curing time is much different than just drying time. But I only have a short window of time to do this project. I've got 1 weekend set aside because next week I'm going to be doing something else in the home. Maybe a painting project or another kitchen cabinet. I might work on my cabinets. So I've got a short amount of time. I see 2 blue tapes. I'm going to get what they call orange core blue or delicate. It's much thinner. Tapes, whether it's tan, traditional blue, they're crepes. If you look at the edges of them, they're a little bit thicker, and they're actually a crepe edge. This tape I've got is a thin, delicate tape for fresh paints, uncured paints, dry, but uncured. This light green one, you can see it's already kind of coming off this display. It's been handled a lot and shown to a lot of our customers, so it's starting to get a little old. But this one you can put on as soon as the paint is dry. They make them that receptive and that harmless on new paint. So as soon as the paint's dry, this 3M blue that I've got, one of my more favorite, but this is great too if I have to have something quicker. I can't use this, but this is safe. Oh, certainly if I painted in the morning, by nighttime, if I kept my heat up in the room. Typically you have your heat in your room cool while you're painting, but in the case of wanting to get that project done and tape it off that same day, I might, after that paint's dry to touch, I might spike that heater up, that thermostat up, get the room a little bit warmer from that cool temperature that I did when I painted. But this can go on same day or certainly the next day. And this demonstration board, this demo board, shows all the different competitor brands, from regular tan tapes. I guess I don't have a regular tan, but this is still one of my favorites. If I don't need a long release, I'm not going to leave that tape up for a real long time. My lines aren't all that critical. I'm taping off old woodwork. Don't spend the money for these high-end tapes. Just spend a $2, $3 regular tan tape. All the brands are out there. The tans are great for just normal painting. But in this case, we're showing how clean you can get your lines. The most popular brand that's been out there that's kind of branded with a color, this blue one, if you can see, hopefully the camera can zoom in on this and see it, but it's probably one of the worst lines. It has allowed creeping of the paint underneath. It's not real clean. So I spend a little more money and I get this delicate orange core blue that sets it apart from the white core that the tape is rolled up on, but it's a delicate tape. We'll tell you at the store, tell us your project, we'll ask you some questions. What are you doing? How old is the paint? And we'll match up the tape to do the job. So I'm going to use the delicate. And in this demo, we had an off-white wall. I want a nice striped paint job, much like we had behind us here, or we just want a good clean line. I'm going to tape it off and I'm going to paint it, which we did here. The off-white went down first, that historical off-white. Now this dark, nice historical color called milkweed went on, and I painted it, I rolled over the whole surface. This tape was all down like this one, rolled over it all, and as soon as I was done, folks, tape, there's a little window of time. I'm either going to take, and typically I do this, as soon as I maybe am done painting, I might wash my hands a little bit, get cleaned up, because I'm going to go remove my tape. I'm going to do it right after I'm done painting, within an hour, within really a half hour, or I'm going to wait till nightfall, or I'm going to wait maybe 8 or 10 hours. The paints warm up the adhesive that's on the tape, and even though you've paid good money for a nice quality tape, it was sensitive release, and you waited 2 hours, that paint has warmed up the adhesive and it's kind of hot and it really doesn't pull cleanly. So just, I don't mean to be too specific on time frames, but take it off as soon as you're done with your paint job, or wait till the next day if it's a tape that can stay on. And even the tan tapes, they're good for 2 or 3 days. They pull clean. But here, I painted over it. Now I'm going to pull my tape off, and the thin, non-crepe tapes give you the cleanest edge. Well, the latest thing they did in the tape world is they came out with a paint block technology on their tapes. It came in a little container. I thought, hey, what's up with this? You know, is it a marketing thing, keeping this tape in a plastic case? Maybe that's why we can get $6 a roll instead of maybe $4 for some of the less expensive models out there. Well, what it does is it keeps the, in a work truck or wherever you might store your paint supplies, it keeps it nice and free from getting dented or tossed, because you know, a bad edge on the tape will give you a bad edge on the wall. So you need to keep these edges clean, and it also keeps it sealed to keep that paint block technology. But what this tape does for you is it, as soon as the water from the water-based paint hits that edge, notice how clean and crisp this kind of the more aggressive green, how nice and clean those lines are. That's paint block technology. They're not the only ones that have it. There's other companies, different colors, kind of branded. They use the green for the frog. But as soon as that paint hits it, the paint block technology takes over, and it locks that paint edge down, and it gives you real crisp lines. So you've walked in, you know, Terry's been talking about this new tape that's out that has the paint block technology. One caution I would say is paint has to be cured, and it will say it on the fine print on your package or on the back in the detail that we don't often read, must be applied to cured paint. Well, how long did I say for paints to cure? 5 to 7 days, about the quickest. So this particular paint block technology is pretty aggressive. They've just now come out with a delicate we haven't stocked that we really don't feel a need for it just yet, because we've got a couple other delicates that we like to sell that our customers are used to, and they know that they can come in and use it and have success. But this has got too much adhesive, so paint block technology paints that have something in it, the sales clerk says, hey, folks, this one, as soon as the water base water from the moisture hits it, it's going to lock it down, give you a clean line. If your paint's cured, good, great, use it. If it's fresh paint, be a little cautious. Go to a non-crepe tape that does it just by its sheer thinness, doesn't allow the seepage, and still gives you one of the cleanest lines in the business. Thin, clean edge painter's tape. Non-crepe. Go to the paint block technology. That's great. I just caution the paint needs to be cured. You really can't get on it for the first week or so. We don't want to use duct tape. It's good for a lot of things. We all have it in our work toolbox. But buy a tape that's specific for the job. Go to your store personnel. Ask them. You know, they're going to ask you some questions. Qualify the job. What do we have? How fresh is the work? What are you trying to accomplish? If the customer comes in and they just buy a blue because my painter that I saw used a blue, I'll often ask, hey, do you need it on 7 days? No, we'll spend $2 instead of $6 or whatever that price. Quite a noticeable spike up for the painter's tapes. They're money savers if they're needed, but if they're not, tan tape is great. We're here to save you money, answer your questions. Thank you very much for listening. If you'd like to read CaledoniaCable.org, you can download in written format and maybe take the Terry's tip and just sit down for a cup of coffee and read these money-saving ideas today. Tapes and inside skinny and masking tapes. Thank you for listening.